Welcome back to Muslim Apologetics Australia. In this video, we'll be discussing and refuting and showing the double standards of the Islamophobes, how they are playing the inconsistency card with people like Ayaan Hirsi. As you know, just in this week, Ayaan Hirsi refused to participate in a show which he organized basically to talk and critique Islam. She basically cancelled her own show because there were going to be 5,000 protesters from the Muslims who were going to condemn Ayaan Hirsi about her lies and criticism against Islam. Now, no Muslim organization was trying to stop Ayaan Hirsi. It was just basically a protest condemning her. Now, she basically cancelled her own show and she blamed it on security. She blamed it on her freedom of speech being impinged on by the Muslims, that she was basically stopped by the protests and the security threats and so forth. And this lady was given a visa to come to Australia, and we know that she's full of hatred, and of course if there were protesters against her, it's obviously going to cause division, and that's what it is. The basis is it causes division, and that's why there was an outrage. And of course, that's why she cancelled it. But look at the double standards here. The double standards are here. Just recently, a Palestinian activist, his Australian visa got cancelled. He wanted to do a tour speaking about the Palestinian crisis in Israel. So interestingly, his visa was cancelled and his freedom of speech was taken away from him. So notice the difference. You have on one hand Ayaan Hirsi, a hate preacher who causes division and protests in Australia. Her visa is granted. She's allowed to come. She can speak her mind. Her freedom of speech is there. But then on the other hand, you have a Muslim Palestinian, an activist who wanted to come here to do a tour and speak on behalf of the Palestinian people and speak about the crisis in Israel and what those poor people are facing, and his visa was denied. Now have a look what the report says. Have a look here. So I'm scrolling down. This is reported by The Guardian. It says, the federal government has cancelled the visa of an outspoken Palestinian activist on the eve of his Australian-speaking tour because others are likely to react adversely to his presence. So he's obviously going to have people who are going to protest against him, and they feared that, we need to cancel his visa because it's going to cause some problematic situations. But notice that Ayaan Hirsi, on the other hand, even though her hate speech is going to cause problematic issues in society and there's going to be condemnation and protests, her visa is still granted. So why the double standards? Now, I know what an Islamophobe or a critic is going to say. They're going to say, this man is probably going to try and promote terrorism in this country. However, there is no source or evidence to back that up. The man isn't a terrorist. He has never been convicted for the acts of terrorism. There has been a charge claiming that he incited people to throw stones in Israel in protest. However, that was cleared and he was proven by the EU to do peaceful protests. So therefore, if the man has never been charged for terror-related offences, then why hasn't this man been given the visa to actually peacefully promote his tour and his works in Australia? So why isn't he given that platform? Well, The claim is the man was going to cause conflict in society through his freedom of speech. So again, if his freedom of speech is taken away from him and the conflict that he may cause in this country, if that is going to spread adversary and there's going to be problems and protests against him, why the double standards that Ayaan Ali Hirsi is doing the very same thing, yet her visa is granted to her without any problems at all? Well, the truth of the matter is, folks, that if you're a Muslim and you speak and you critique Israel, then your visa is taken away from you. If you critique Islam and lie about Islam and you want to go all out on Islam and Muslims and criticizing it, you're given full credit, full rights, even though it may be based on lies and hatred and division, to cause division amongst the Muslims and the non-Muslims. It is given complete full rights without a doubt. So there you have it. This is clear-cut hypocrisy at its very best. So where are these double-faced Islamophobes and these critics critiquing their own governments about censoring freedom of speech? You know, when it's Muslims censoring it, they say, oh, look, Islam is an intolerant religion. Look at these Muslims. They're protesting, trying to stop freedom of speech. But where are these Islamophobes critiquing their own government and saying, you are the same like the Muslims. You are also suppressing freedom of speech and so forth. So where are these Islamophobes? Where are these same critics? Where are these Ayaan Ali Hirsi supporters? Please come out, show us your condemnation, and please go out and promote this man. Promote him and tell everyone his name. His name is Bassem Taimimi. So tell everyone why, and post it all on your blogs, on your Islamophobic blogs. Post it. Say, why is our government not allowing this man to come to the country for his Australian tour to give his talk on the situation about the Middle Eastern conflicts, about Israel and Palestine? Come on, why don't you let this man do the tour? When Ayaan Ali Hirsi cancelled her own event in Australia, Mr. Andrew Bolt, The Bolt Show, quickly interviewed her to talk about why she cancelled it and to talk about how her freedom of speech was impinged against because the Muslims were protesting against her. So why doesn't Mr. Andrew Bolt do now an interview with Mr. Taimimi, the Palestinian who was refused entry to do his show in Australia, his tour, speaking about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict? So why is Mr. Andrew Bolt not interviewing this Middle Eastern person that was denied the visa? Well, of course, it doesn't suit Mr. Andrew Bolt because he's an Islamophobe, and of course, he would not want that on his show. So there you have it. Here's the video where Andrew Bolt is interviewing Ayaan Ali Hirsi. He interviews her straight away and to discuss why it was cancelled and so forth. So why isn't Mr. Andrew Bolt inviting this Middle Eastern man, this man that was cancelled his visa, got his visa cancelled by the Australian government because it was going to apparently create conflict. It may have created conflict amongst society in Australia. So why is his freedom of speech not tolerated? Why is Andrew Bolt not interviewing this man like he interviewed Ayaan Ali Hirsi? That, my friend, is double-faced hypocrites with double standards and inconsistencies.